Hello, hello. Happy Saturday. How's everyone doing here? Getting started a little late, I know, for my usual time, but it's nice to be able to enjoy the morning on this ostensibly my weekend. All right, that won't stop us though. I'm hunting the last of these bugs here. All right, here we go. Got a couple more auto tiling bugs, and then I think we're genuinely done with this chunk. This chunk of code here. Should be really nice. I'm working on this a long time. I'm very pleased with the behavior. All right, let's take a look. 1:17 p.m. Restate my assumptions. Let's do a full stack here just so we can see what it looks like. Let's do the dividers all the way up so we can see how they look when they're getting cut away like. Really like the active region overlay. It's kind of hard to see what I was doing before. It's really nice now. All right, so it looks like I don't see any issues. Let's add some doors. Do need some I do need those invalid block markers of some kind. All right, let's do a broad selection here. Try to get like half of the door. Let's see. So there's this missing outline. You can kind of see it here in the back corner. Only affects the wall, not the floor. And it only affects the floor if there is no cutaway. So you can see at like the higher levels, the outline is being extended, but at the lower levels, it's not. So right here, so there's some condition in this branch of the code that says something like, if there's a cutaway, you cannot remove the outline. And because down here at the bottom, there is no cutaway, it's saying, okay, let's just get rid of this outline. So that's one. There was a second one somewhere that I remember spotting, but I'm not sure where it is now. Oh, here's something. Yeah, so it's doing the same thing at a low level here. There's arguably some missing outline here in this junction against the wall. Arguably, it should be getting shortened to a half block. That one's weirder. That one's, I'm going to need a second to understand how we want to solve that. So let's just look for the first one. Which is this one. Hey Silas, how's it going? Happy Saturday. So yeah, it's the x+1 branch of the code. So this chunk here is wrong. So I want to look up at the floor piece because the floor pieces don't have this problem. So there's probably some hint there. So let's do a side by side. That might help us. Kind of chill to sit with my stream and work on your game. Feels nice. Nice. Thanks. That's what we are aiming for. Chill co-working stream. How's your game coming along? We're always happy to see progress on the Discord as well. Probably already in there, but I like to plug it at least once a stream. All right, so the x+1 branch for this is here. So here, we got it here. It's this and cutaways has key xyz plus vector3i.x minus vector3i.y. I think that's what's doing it on that side. So the floor is being cut away. So we don't have that same condition being met here. So what we need to say is there a block? We need to say, is there an opposite wall? So if we're like the X wall here, is there a Y facing wall here and nothing here? We need to say, is there nothing in the plus X side? Is there something in the plus y side? But that's when we shouldn't do the outline. We need to represent it in positive terms. When should we? Oh no, that's when we should do the outline. We need to represent it in negative terms of when we shouldn't do the outline. So we shouldn't do the outline if there isn't a block here, or there isn't a thing here. Let's start with that and see if that gives us the behavior we want, because that's simple. That's a simple way to start. This says if there's nothing in front of us, or there's something there, okay? Silas, you're getting slightly closer to some kind of gameplay. The terminal... Oh yeah, you show the terminal stuff on the Discord. I've seen this. I love this stuff. You're getting closer to some kind of gameplay. The terminal's almost bug-free. And electrical systems run as processes on the terminal. Killing them turns them off. Like sleep 10, kill 10, 013. Which could be a certain light on the station, or later on a lock on the door. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I think that's a fun interface for a puzzle game. For like a sci-fi puzzle game. Super cool. Oh, you have a different name on the Discord. That's what confused me, right? I can handle it. But no, that's really great. I really like the direction your game is headed. Kivitok means ghost in Greenlandic. That's a really cool name. Hey, Rhiannon Journey. How's it going? Happy Saturday. All right, so what we're going to say here is... Oh. Okay, so we do the containment check here. So we do the same check. We say, you can't get a value here. Or there's a cutaway there. And there's a cutaway adjacent. I don't know why we care about this part, but I'm not going to remove that. I think what we can just say is we could just say this. Let's try to just say and not hulls, or and hulls dot try get value key with W equals int tile.layers.bulk y. Plus vector 3i, minus vector 3i.x plus vector 3i.y out hull discard. Let's see if that does it by itself. And let's say there's a second statement I might make in there, but I honestly think that statement is covered elsewhere. In terms of I don't need to ask that statement, because if the other statement is true, we just won't get to this point. Hey, Nix. Happy Saturday. Rhiannon Journey, you're going pretty good. Busy couple of weeks, so you're doing the bare minimum this weekend. That's nice. That's nice to hear. We're hunting a couple bugs down. And that's it If we find the bugs, I don't know what we're going to do next, but we'll figure it out. Oop, well, so I already made one thing worse. But did I at least fix the thing I was trying to fix? I very clearly made one thing worse, though. Okay, I fixed the thing what we were trying to fix, but the problem is we are... So minus x, no, minus y. Hold on. Yeah, okay, so I want to say minus y plus x. Maybe I did the wrong thing here. I wrote minus x plus y. I think it's the opposite. But yeah, we're really chilling today, which is nice. We could be super stressed out doing a game jam, but instead we're just chilling. Okay, I didn't fix that part. But did I... Oops. Overdid a little bit. Yeah, we can test it with this. Nope. Okay, so that just makes it worse. Huh. Oh, this needs to be a knot. This is going to be so hard to understand in the future. Oh, well. I'll try to come up with a more sensible... I might have to document this someday, because these rules are convoluted. But if they happen to be like fairly universal rules, maybe we don't need to worry about it. Oh, we gotta hollow this out. All right, so we still have a problem, but it only affects one thing there. And then what about this? Okay, we got our outline. There's one problem though, which is, so when we're in this circumstance, like we've got a full, so now this is where we do the cutaway check. But I feel like I'm already doing this cutaway check, so we might want to just move the logic. That might be what we just do. Yeah, I know everyone else is scrambling to finish their GMTK jams, which are due in less than 24 hours. I think more like 20. More like 20 hours. So, you know, good luck to anyone doing that. All right, let's see about that. So this cutaway, and cutaway contains this. Yeah, we are already making this check above as part of a compound statement. Oops, that was not what I wanted to do. Here. So is there a way to rope these together somehow? So here we have this and cutaway contains this. This is the statement we want, so we can say this or this. Problem is we're checking it twice, but whatever. This might do it for us here. Okay, that fixed it. We're looking good. Let's do a quick check here. I mean, we at least fixed it on one side. It will look wrong on the other side, but that's okay. Let's see if we fix the other thing for free. I wasn't quite sure if they were related. No, they're not related. Okay. There's an erroneous outline back here behind the half wall. And it just sticks up at this T-junction on the bottom floor. We don't want that. Okay, before we move on to that, let's see if we can simplify the conditional at all. Because now we're starting to like make the same check multiple times in different branches, and that I don't love that. So up here we have an if hulls.tryGetValue key plus vector x. So if our positive x neighbor exists, we don't necessarily, and we're not cutting it away, we don't actually want to render this tile at all. Oh, this is weird. We say and not cutaways contains this. Oh, or our cutaways match either. I see. Okay. And then down here we say, if not, if there is no forward neighbor here. Or there's a cutaway here and this. And down here we say if there is no tile here or this. This doesn't seem like the right check. Oh no, maybe it is. Maybe it is. And it's not a duplicate check. Well, it is. It's duplicated with this. But this is part of a compound statement here. So not this. If this and this. So I don't think I can easily merge those two conditions. So you know what? We're not going to try. Maybe someday we can make this simpler. But we're not going to worry about it right now. Nope. All right, let's see. That should fix that on both sides now. We can test it pretty easily. We want to test the other thing too, so actually, no, we can test it with one floor. All right, let's see what we got here now. Oh, interesting. It doesn't do it when it's a half wall. But it does successfully do it here. That's not what we want. We want it to... Okay. And it's doing that because these walls are in the cutaway. We're also not doing it... Oh, well, not doing it in this case when the wall in front of us is a half wall. That is correct. Well, I think that's reasonable at least. Does it here though, which is good. But yeah, we gotta fix this. Yeah, we gotta fix that too. It arguably should do it here at the half wall level. All right, so we're not quite done with this bug here. That's okay. Because I don't know what we're going to work on next. All right, so what we think it might be missing here is this. So this condition returns false. So then this condition returns true. All right, so where is this issue cropping up? Okay, so that's being cut away, so we're saying we can get rid of that because it's being cut away. But that's only true if it's a full cutaway. Or at least a full bulk cutaway. And then same deal here. This is actually, there's actually indication of another problem here. All right, just count them up. Count them up. Got at least 3 autotiling issues here. I don't think are related. Okay, so there's some related logic here where we say, but this is the part behind us. Okay, so yeah, it's actually not related to what we're talking about here. So here we say, we can't find a piece there, or it's being cut away. So it can't be a containment check. So it can't be contains, it has to be has any. And then we need to say cutaway.extents.full bulk or cutaway.extents.full deck. And then there should be other branches here that protect against some alternative issues that might crop up because of that. We've got enough coverage that I think we're doing pretty good. Dang. Oh. We solved that side. That side was already fixed. That side is also good now. So what we need to do is we need to check. Is this Y? Am I working on the Y? Bulk Y? I am. Okay, so fix it for the other side and we should be good. So here, instead of saying contains, we say has any. wonder if there would be a way to write the XY branches once. So I don't have to maintain two copies of this. I guess it's good for like quote unquote A/B testing, XY testing. I can test one branch and not the other. Almost feels like a lazy Sunday today. Except that, you know, we're working on stuff. But it's pretty chill and quiet. Okay, here we go. That's kind of what I want. But not exactly. It's close, though. It's close. We need to get rid of the top half of those. Which I don't know if I actually have a system for that. And it's also Saturday. Yeah. Lazy Sunday is like a state of mind. We love the chronic. What Chronicles of Narnia, you know? That's my lazy Sunday joke. Dang. So we need like a lower half only outline. And I don't know if we have that is the problem. I think we might have an upper half only. I don't know if we have a lower half only. So these last two issues here are related probably. And they probably have to do with that. So let's look at the atlas. See if we can figure it out. Yeah, so we have no bottom half only set up here. That is a problem. How are we going to fix that? So we have room for another. But we really need room for two. Or do we? Yeah, we do. So we have this. This is one. This is two. This is 128. Do we have 128 left on the side here? I don't think we do. Oh no, we do exactly. Perfect. Thing we don't really have is both, which is a bit of a problem. And that also affects... Oh, that's annoying. Maybe we expand downward. I know we're wasting some space on the side if we don't do it on the side, but I actually need more than 128. Sort of. I guess I don't, but I'm taking a very lazy approach to this for now because we're gonna have to redo all this anyway. And I don't want to. A Skywalk blazing on in here. How's it going? So what if we just increased your cast and then regretted everything? Oh, I really don't want to redo this whole thing either in terms of setting up the tile sets. So the problem, our problem is that we have the upper half only represented, but now I'm realizing we need some bottom half only represented to handle this stuff correctly. Random Journey, a sponsor at the conference. Got to play a video before a talk, and it was so obviously AI generated. Ugh. First scene was the camera behind 3 monitors, and that's some people looking at the monitors like they were debugging code, but the monitors were facing the camera. Oh, I love that. I love that. Xbox got in a lot of trouble for that too, because like someone on their graphics team posted like a hiring poster, and it showed someone working at their computer. And it was like the back of the computer was facing the viewer, not the viewer as in like the person at the computer, but you know, us, the audience. And so all of the text, the syntax highlighting on the monitor was on the back of the monitor there too. That's some weird thing that keeps happening. That's disgusting. And that kept constantly happening. At any time there was a monitor, the contents of the monitor were shown on the back of it, not towards the people in the scene. Yeah, that's so weird that that's like a... Like, I understand why someone might do that, or why that might be your impression of how that works, I guess. But that's so bad. That's funny that it's a widespread problem with them, with whatever. Who knows? All right, so what do I want to do? I'm not sure how I want to fix this. Maybe it's time to like kind of fix how this is laid out. Because here's our problem. So if you look at our T-junction, that's a yikes from you, Nix. Yeah. So if you look at this T-junction here, where like this wall runs into this wall, and then if this wall is cut in half, the outlines at their junction don't get shortened, which they should. The easy thing to do would be to just not show that outline, which I'm tempted to do on a temporary basis. The correct thing to do would be to only show the lower half of the outline. Problem is, I don't have that represented in the tile set, and representing that in the tile set would be annoying. The real question is, well, not the real question, but I don't want it to work differently. Like, because it's already doing it here, you can kind of see. And I think that's correct. Yeah, I think for consistency, I need to be able to support a lower. What other situations could that happen in, though, is like my question. So it could happen here. But that's the same side. Could it happen to the other side is, I guess, my question. I don't think so. because that's the back face. So maybe we're like maybe we're overdrawing this stuff because maybe some of this stuff can't happen. That's like my thinking. Is like maybe some of these situations don't come up and we're wasting a lot of tile set space on stuff that cannot happen. Analyzing that thoroughly would be really annoying. So I don't want to do that. Silas, you imagine that's because humans try to give you what you want, but AI tries to give you what you ask for and then don't ask why? Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I mean, it's a lack of like real world context, right? Like an AI doesn't know what a monitor is and what the back of the monitor is versus what the front of the monitor is. So like if you show a picture of someone working at a computer and they're looking at the front of the screen and everything's on the front of the screen, and then you show an observer on the other side of the screen, like, I don't know. To be fair, a monitor that's viewable from the back side would be kind of cool. It would be horrible in terms of like privacy, but it would be kind of cool. It would be very transparent screen. Or like anyone on the back side of the monitor would see the mirror image of what's being displayed on the front side. That'd be pretty cool. It'd be like a window. All right, I'm gonna start disabling like some branches of this and see what issues we run into because I don't know how else to test this. Like I'm curious about this branch, or I'm curious about both of these, about whether both of these can possibly fire simultaneously, or if that's like precluded by like the way this stuff works. Because this is all being done in view relative space. So there's some stuff that like won't ever happen. And that's my thinking. So that some of this stuff I'm worried about cannot happen because of our forced perspective. Because like so far I've disabled a whole branch and so far it's been like totally fine. So it's a little concerning. I mean, it's good in the sense of maybe we could just get rid of that whole branch, you know? Oh, nope. Okay, so that case can come up. I see it. All right. The real question is, can both happen simultaneously? Let's test that. Because if that can't happen, then we have at least some more space to work with. So actually, I'm just going to have a thing here that says I'm going to ask if X can ever get over 12. I'm going to say if atlas coords dot X is greater than or equal to 12. I just want to break here. Just going to throw an exception. I know I could probably like assert that, but Silas, you can get transparent OLED displays. You also saw a laptop with a transparent screen where you can see through it. Okay, that's pretty cool. I don't think anyone would literally ever want one of those except maybe like a pit boss so that they could like walk through the cubicles and like see people playing solitaire. I know they're not usually called pit bosses, they're usually called middle management. So, hey Peter, what's happening? I'm gonna need that TPS report. I need you to come in on. Okay, so this does come up. X does end up being... X is 15. All right, let's see. How do we get there? All right, well, that answers that question. We need both branches. Okay, that's frustrating. I thought there was a possibility that we didn't. So we need to go even crazier with how this is set up. That's frustrating. All right, how am I going to do this? Let's just make the width even wider here. I need to set up a grid. Actually, the grid needs to be smaller than that. All right. Not happy about this. I'm telling myself this is temporary until I just change the whole way these tile set atlases are drawn and packed, because this is not good. Oh, not the background. So this would be like we're showing only the bottom half of everything. Where's that halfway point? Let's make the grid even smaller so maybe I can see it. That doesn't help. That doesn't help either. Well, it helps a little. Yeah, I'm gonna really need a system that generates these variations, because I do not want to do this by hand at all. Hey, Adagon, what's up? Thanks for the hydrate. How's your really cool snake loop game going? It was looking great yesterday. It's going good. You did some voice acting? Oh, nice, nice. I'm curious to see what that's for, since as far as I could tell, there was just a snake and some fruits. Did you add like Quake voice acting, like announcer, like multi-kill, ultra kill? Why did I add the bottom one first? I guess that's fine, because it doesn't matter. Wizard? Oh yeah, I heard tell of a wizard. I haven't seen it yet. I think this is right. Oh, hold on a second. Goes 2 down. Okay. This is one of those, do something once, do it manually. Do something twice, think about automating it. I'm okay to do this once, but man, I'm not going to ever want to do this again. This can't be the right length. 12? 13? Oh, maybe it is, dang. Although, no, it includes that. So yeah, this should be like to here. Why does that go so low? That's concerning is what that is. This goes like, I think this overextends. Maybe it's because it's a midpoint. Is this the midpoint? I could see why we might be doing that if that's the case. Yeah, okay, so this is the midpoint. So this should be... But is it... Should it always be present or should it always be erased? I don't know. We're gonna go this way. We're gonna go this way with it. We're gonna have to duplicate these, which is stupid because they're not gonna, there's not gonna be a difference for them. There's like no reason for that. This isn't gonna work. This thing I'm trying to do here. I think we come up with a temporary solution. I don't want to do this horrible thing that I'm doing here. I just don't want to. I saved at some point, didn't I? think that's normal. I'm going to just go back to this. All right, temporary solution is we're going to just not show an outline there. Rather than try to double the size of the atlas to cover like a edge case. We'll find a better solution in the long run. Or a solution where I don't care as much about how much work that would be. So instead, what we're going to do is when we're in a situation like this, we're just going to say don't outline. Which sucks because that's basically undoing the work I just did. I think I can live with that for now. So let's figure out what branch that was. I think it was this. I think it was this being this and not just a containment check. So if I switch it back to just a containment check. All right, looks good under normal circumstances. What about for the selection? Yeah, so that's what we're doing. We're just getting rid of one of the outlines because we can't do it in a satisfactory way. And you know what? That's going to be okay. So let's get the other one done. So the other one, what is causing that one? That one is being caused... That was already in place, so it's not being caused by anything we did today. There's that one last little vertical white line in the middle there. Got to get rid of it. Oh shoot, that's gonna cause an issue there. We can say this, or cutaway contains. We could say cutaway contains. Oh, I don't want to nest this another layer, but I might do it. And cutaway equals cutaways. Here we can say this. We can say try get value. Say out tile dot extents. We can say ext, say adjacent extension xy. I just call it ext. Adjacent extension. you mean you can't resolve this? Oh, cutaway.extents. Oops. What do you mean it doesn't match the parameter type? Oh, cutaway. Okay, you have an extent. Cut positive x and negative y. And we can say, is cutaway the same as this? Can we do this on the same line, just for my sanity? Sort of. So we do want the outline if they're both half walls. Oh, that messed up some stuff. Did it at least fix the problem we were trying to fix? One can hope. No, it did not. Interesting. Oh, it ruined the other thing too. Okay. Am I defining when it should be done and not when it shouldn't? Or vice versa? It should be if they're not the same, if they're not equal. See what that did. I wasn't paying attention if that worked. Seems fine. Maybe not. Okay, that seems to work there. Seems to work there. Problem, though, is we seem to have a problem on this side. Okay. All right, let's try doing that same change to the other side here. isn't the same. There we go. Yeah, because the X and Y are just mirrors, I'm tempted to write them in such a way so there's even just one set of rules for those, since they're just totally mirrored. We could say create bulk XY cell, and then you could just define which one it is. If like mirror is true, it becomes a Y or something. That'd be good. I'm tempted to do that. Because then because the whole point of this whole thing was to have the autotiling rules written as few places as possible. So they only have to be maintained once. That's definitely in the spirit of it. We'll see if we have time once we figure out these bugs. So did I fix that other thing that I saw that was weird? It looks like I did, so that's good. Did I fix this is the question. So that it's at least good enough. All right. It's reasonable. I don't see any major issues with that. Let's do a full layer check. I wish... Oh, I can. I was like, man, it would be so cool if I could copy and paste this multiple times. I'm like, wait. I could totally do that. Yeah, in the long term, I don't like what's happening here, but in the short term, this is going to be okay. All right, yeah, so we copy it. We go down a layer, paste it. We go down a layer, we paste it. Go down a layer. This is fancy. Look at that copy paste and copy pasta here. And now I've got this. Now I can test this. Looking good, looking good. I'm tempted to exaggerate the difference between a wall and like a floor. I already have two tones, so we have a darker tone for the side and a lighter tone for the top. I kind of want to exaggerate that even more with the overlay. Right now the overlay is the same for both. I kind of want to exaggerate it. Kind of a pain to do, but I could do it. Looks fancy. Thanks, Silas. Yeah, it is that. It's not much else. It's like you were saying. We're working our way towards gameplay. But it's a long road. All right, so this backline, this little backline in the middle here at this T-junction, that's the only thing I need to figure out. And so what is causing that? So when do we want it to show up? Ever? Do we ever want that to show up? Yes. But not if... Silas, to be honest, you're not sure what the autotiler is for? Is it for the internals of a spaceship? Yeah, it's for anything we build for this system. It's for any navigable space, whether it's a spaceship or like a base or like a whatever. This is how we're gonna build the 3D locations in the game. And this is all done in runtime, so it's designed to be used as well by like modders and stuff. So we're trying to like run the tools in such a way, build the tools in such a way that they'll work for anyone who's interested in making content for the game, not just me. That's the idea, at least. And obviously stuff like the cutaway and the autotiler, that's just how we render the things. So like the tool is for how to build it, but the autotiler and the cutaway stuff, this is all about how do we, now that we built this, how do we render it, right? So that's also for playtime, you know, that's going to be useful always in any context. I like this view. Seems to be doing okay. You were lurking? Did I accomplish something cool? No, we knocked out a bug. Now we're on to, and we knocked it out in a way that's like inconsistent, but was easy to do. So it's not super consistent with our rules for this, but easy to do as could. It will bite us in the butt. It's just to fix the one edge case, we would have needed to like double the size of the tile atlas. And I don't want to do that until we have the tile atlases being built more procedurally. Or we've switched to some other way of doing it. I just don't want to handle all of that stuff. Right. Like I didn't want to do it by hand, essentially. Which I should have done because we'll need a model for how we're going to procedurally build the atlas. So eventually we're going to have to do it. I just didn't want to do it now for one little edge case. Sometimes majority coverage is sufficient, right? Sometimes full coverage is a bridge too far. But I always said we'd go a bridge too far. Alright, we can get rid of this. We can get rid of this. And so now we are concerned... Oh no, this is still a part of the X+1 path, isn't it? Fascinating. This last little case we're trying to deal with here, which I can honestly represent by just this. I've been kind of overdoing it with the examples because I think this is sufficient for reproducing this issue. Let me make sure that's true. Oh no, it's not, because it's not an interior. This only happens during a half wall cut, so I need at least one Okay, so we haven't been overdoing it. So this is the case that's the issue. So that should go away. So it's going away there. But it's not going away here. No, there isn't a hull tile there. So if there isn't a tile there, should be okay. So it's this. I think this line should be getting us here. If not hulls.try get value, key with W is bulk layer. The opposite bulk layer. Oh, the opposite bulk layer. That's going to be really hard to represent with a mirror. Plus vector 3i dot x minus vector 3i dot y out hull. This should be getting us there, and not this case should be good for us. Is there another reason why this might fail? So we succeed at this. We succeed this condition because we meet this one. We succeed this condition. So that's good. This condition, we're good. This condition, we're good. Not holds, try get value plus X. That might fail. No, that will succeed. So this fails. In this case, the case we're thinking about. So this fails, so we need this to succeed. Cutaways.contains plus X and cutaways.contains. Oh. Why is this an and? Yeah, this, I wasn't sure about this branch. So we're just gonna like get rid of it and see what happens. I'm sure it's doing a job. I just think it's also interfering with this case that we're trying to fix. So far, it doesn't appear to be doing anything, which is curious. Oh, and it fixes this. The removal of that line fixes this case, this cause. But let's test a little more thoroughly. to see if there's some other case that we're going to fail because of this. So far, I don't see one, which is hopeful. But I'm sure. I generally try to trust past Dave on stuff like this. Like, if I did something like this in the past, I generally imagine I had a reason for it, but, you know... might not totally be... Wait, why didn't that do the thing I thought I was going to do? Oh. I don't see any issues. You know what? I bet I know where the problem is that this piece is needed for, but let's double check this first. I think I know where if there is a reason why we have this, I think I know where it would be. All right. That all looks good. So we're going to test this idea here. We're going to just make some interior blocks here. We're going to see how this looks when it's on the edge like this. I think this is the reason I would have something like this here. No? Okay. Yeah, I think that was just an unnecessary line. We'll leave it in place. We'll leave it in place. For now. And by in place, I mean I won't delete it. I'm just going to comment it out. Because I'm still concerned that it served a purpose. But yeah, this is getting complicated enough where I'm just like, having a hard time reasoning about it. All right, that's it. That T-junction looks correct now on the bottom floor when you drop it to a half wall. It hides an outline that I would like to draw, but it'd be too hard to draw, so it just gets rid of it. But everything else looks great. I think it still works. And it saves a lot of effort. So yeah, the selection overlay there works just fine. You to leave for a bit, but it's looking good. Yeah, I think we got them all sufficiently. There's one line I would like to draw, but it would just be too much work. So we're not going to do it for now. We'll see about it, adding it back later. Who knows? Maybe we won't do it at all. Maybe it's good enough. Yeah, we'll probably do it eventually. It's obvious enough to me that I'm not going to forget about it when I'm looking at this. But yeah, I think we did it. I think the interactions, or I think the selection overlay looks exactly the way we would want it to. All right, then the last thing I want to do is I do think I want to exaggerate the difference in lightness from the top layer, the top faces versus the side faces. I think I want to exaggerate that with the overlays, because right now we're just using the same shade on the overlay, and I think I want it to be a little more exaggerated. So we're gonna look at doing that. But yeah, I think we're famous last words. I won't forget what this does. No. I mean, I'm not worried about forgetting what it does. It's an obvious enough visual glitch that I will see it. I will not stop seeing it. So I won't forget that it's there. It's very subtle. And it's not even a glitch so much as just an inconsistency. But I think you stare at something like this long enough, you get real good at spotting the inconsistencies. All right, so that's just one last little change here. So what I want to do, so if you look at like here, you can see that like the top faces here have a lighter tone than the side faces. I want to mimic that with the selection overlay to kind of exaggerate it a little bit, because I don't like the way right now the overlay kind of equalizes them a little bit, and I want them to exaggerate it instead. So we go back here. I think the easiest thing to do would be to just double up. So just add another pass. So like just like this. Wait. A63. If I do this, they become A110. I think double is maybe too much. But let's start with double and just see. I guess that's the Will Wright way, right? Just double things. If you're going to change something, double it or cut it in half. And then check. And then if that's too much, you dial it back by half of that. If I do forget it at some point, someone down the road will be eagle-eyed enough to see it and point it out. The choice of streaming your work. Yeah, someone will leave a very nice comment on one of the videos and be like, back in episode 224, you introduced a visual inconsistency. It's still here in episode 357. Just FYI. Yeah. I would love someone to be that interested in my work that they do shit like that. That would be a victory for me. All right, let's try it. Let's try this. Let's just turn this on, contiguous, and then just brighten the tops here. See what that looks like. I guess I also want to do it in the hover, which is a separate file. Silas, you were wondering how to add music to your game? Since the game is supposed to feel somewhat real, and normally you don't hear music when you walk around. But you think you found a nice solution. The player finds the headphones on the space station, adds them to their inventory, and puts them into their hotbar, enabling them turns on music. Oh, that's awesome. You could then also add noise canceling to it to reduce the space station hum. That's really cool. I actually really like that. Very diegetic of you. And that's like game devs love to do shit diegetically, you know? Which means like doing something diegetically is like there's a map in Dead Space, you can see like a mini map of the spaceship that you're walking around, and that mini map like projects out of your character's armor in front of you. Like it's a physical projector showing you the mini map rather than just having like, it's the opposite of a Nintendo character being like, press Y to swing your sword. Yeah, that's a really good idea, Silas. I think that's really cool. People love that. Especially people that will play like a realistic space game, right? People love stuff like that. All right, let's see how this looks. I think I just changed everything. Oh, I did not do it in the doors. I'll need to change that, but that's fine. Oh, that's maybe too much. Or it's not too much, but it's interfering with the outline. Wait, why is it interfering with the outline? Oh, because I did it to the hover. That I need to decide how I want to do that. I generally like this, but it's maybe it's not a problem. Or maybe I can do it in a way that it doesn't interfere the outline too much. Let's look at it in a room. Oops. Same with most of the UI in Dead Space, actually. Yeah, I only really remember the map, but I'm sure all the UI followed the same rule. That's the sort of thing that you would not do, that you would try to not do inconsistently, right? But yeah, I think that's a great way to stick with the flavor of like a more hard sci-fi kind of presentation. Okay, I don't know if this is exactly having the effect that I want it to. I don't think it is, actually. So I'm probably going to roll this back. Yeah, I think it's weirder than not. I think I have to rely on the color changes, the underlying colors more, and let that show the difference in lighting. could also have it in place for only the selection and not the hover. That might be what I do, actually. Undo the change here on the hover layer. But keep the change in the selection layer. That might be what I do. Silas, you're saying thanks for introducing you to the concept of diegesis. Quite interesting, and now you have an excuse to procrastinate by reading about it more. Oh yeah, if you want to sound like a pedantic game designer, just bust that word out. Ludonarrative dissonance is so, you know, last decade, so 10, 20 years ago. What we really care about now is diegesis. It's a tough thing to do in a space game because then you're like, then you end up doing the thing where you're like, well, there's an explosion that's going to happen, but you're in space, so there's like no sound. It's definitely a double-edged sword. This might be nice. This might, this change I made, only having the top face being lighter for the selection overlay and not for the hover overlay, which I kind of want to change the name of. I think that'll be nice because that might make the selection overlay pop more when the selection overlay comes out. Let's see if that's the case. While still looking better like this. Because in this case, the outlines have the same shade, which I like. Arnio, you remember when you heard both those words the first time on Folding Ideas YouTube channel? Nice. I haven't heard of that channel. Check it out. Folding Ideas. Documentarian here. Well, now that I look them up, I'm sure to get lots of these recommended to me. Very popular channel, one of the biggest essay channels there are, I think. Nice. Yeah, I don't watch a lot of those. I probably should. I probably enjoy more of those. I'll watch like a 10-hour Tim Rogers review every once in a while, and it's usually enough for me. Maybe a no clip every once in a while. All right, so do I like this? So here, pop. Yeah, okay, that's nice. That pops a little more because it's a lighter shade. I wonder if I want to clear the I wonder if I want to clear the cursor bounds when I set the selection, when the selection takes over. I kind of want to, because right now you'll see it gets really bright, and then I'll move the mouse and it gets a little darker again, and that's because the cursor bounds don't change when I finish the selection, or when I finalize the selection. And the cursor bounds are what we use to generate this thing, this kind of intermediate overlay. Yeah, I think I want to do that. Silas, you did wonder about how the pressure in the room should affect the sounds in the game. Yeah, that's one of those things. It's like if the room is depressurized, then you might actually want to muffle or get rid of the sound entirely. Like, it's an interesting question. And like, what do you want the sound? Do you want to hear the sound as you would as the character, or do you want to hear the sound as you would like the observer of the room? Like, it's interesting. It's an interesting question. Arneo, your dream is to make the practical in-game sound effects create the music of the game. Some games have done that, something similar to that. That is really hard because that's a lot of dynamic music generation. Like, I mean, the whole concept of Fmod is that, like, the things happening in the game could affect the music. And to have that music or sound effects be done not generatively, but dynamically, that's definitely super hard to do. And it would be certainly hard to do to the level of the sound effects together create almost a musical soundscape. That'd be really cool. I don't know what context you would want that in, but it'd be super cool. All right, so what I'm thinking I want to do here is a little adjustment here. I'm thinking I want to, when the selection ends, I'm thinking I want to do this. I want to say game.input.cursorBounds equals, I think I want to say like, oh, I can't make it nothing, can I? Let me take a look at this. Who uses this? The tile system uses this. So you make a list. So when we make a list, I want to see this function. What happens if we call toList? I think we want to say something like I think we want to ask if size is less than 0 or less than 1. If we want to say size is greater than 0, we can do this. Otherwise, we just return an empty list. Oh, not size. I want volume, right? It's like volume. So here we could say cursor bounds is a new AAVB. We just don't pass in any parameters. That might break something, but hopefully it won't break the autotiler. Silas, there are some musical roads which play at the right pitch when you drive at the intended speed limit. Grooves in the road are spaced in a way that they play a melody when you drive over them. You guess something similar could be done in a game, but in a more complex way. Yeah, I feel like Top Gear drove over those once. Maybe in one of their American specials or something. I remember that. Yeah, that seems cool. I don't know if that's exactly, but it is the idea, right? Where physical things occurring in the game create a soundscape. I mean, it can be really interesting. But yeah, a lot of work. Okay, so now when I do this, okay, now it doesn't change. Nice, now it doesn't, it still pops because it's brighter, but it doesn't change. Oh, it doesn't pop on the side, but it does pop on the top. A little bit. It gets a little brighter. It's pretty subtle. Or it does get a little brighter. All right, I like that. I think that's a good compromise. See how that looks inside one of the compartments. All right, well, I think we accomplished a lot of our goal here today. We killed all the bugs, made a few little changes to the overlays. I think we might be able to knock off a whole bunch of tasks in our task list here, and then actually work on something different. That'd be cool. It'd be cool to move on. Let me finish laying this line here. Keep forgetting to do it both directions. There we go. All right, so now if I do this, it's nice. It's subtle. Maybe not popping as much as I would like it to. It's definitely popping a little. Yeah, it's pretty subtle, but it's okay. You don't want it to be too much. Maybe what we want to do is we want to make everything just a little lighter here. Just turn contiguous off. Oh, do that. Oh, I missed a spot earlier. It's good to know. Hold on. I gotta check everything. I missed one. Okay, I think I got it. In Journey a while back, you saw a project that looked kind of like a Souls-like, but your attacks were timed to help create an orchestral soundtrack for the game. Ooh, I like that. Arnie, you're thinking the main engine sound would be a low rhythmic bass? A low rhythmic bass track? Maybe the ship guns would sync to that. Oh. As kind of symbols, and then that all would somehow come together with explosions or shields getting hit. Maybe a periodic radar ding, something like that. You meant like hi-hats or snares, not cymbals. Yeah, that sounds really cool. I think that'd be really interesting to have that kind of mechanical groove going on there. All right, let's see what we like about this. So brighten that up, brighten these up. So this is A146 and this is A110. Let's see about that. See if that pops more. I wanted the sides to pop and only the top popped. I mean, ideas are cheap and you're nowhere near making sounds yet. Someone else please make that? No, it's got to be you. All right, so now when I do a selection like this, the whole thing pops. Okay, I like that. The sides weren't doing it. You weren't getting brighter. How does that look inside? It's subtle, but it's there. Yeah, that's nice. Okay, subtlety's fine. Subtlety is good. The sides are good. That's because the sides are like doubling. The top's technically tripling, but it's pretty subtle effect for some reason. I wonder what it looks like in here. Oh, it's gonna be really hard to see in here. No, that's nice. That's nice. Okay, cool. Yeah, I think that's good enough for now. All right, well, it's been a couple hours. Pre-rolls are about to hit. Doesn't oxygen not included have something similar? The music picks up the more that's happening in your colony. I think that's typical. I think that's different than what we're talking about. I think that's more typical and how kind of Fmod is used more, like where you switch the music to more like a battle starts, so you switch to battle music, or something gets more intense, so you just start adding more tracks to it. I think that's very good. I think everyone should be doing that, like looking to see what the game state is and changing the music that way to like match the tone of what's happening or the intensity of it. I think that's good. I think what Arneo is describing is like going back to like maybe not diegetic per se, but going back to like the things occurring in the game are literally the music. Like they're causing the music. Like they represent the music. So I think there's definitely a spectrum in there somewhere, but that's super cool. I think either way, that's the kind of thing you want to do. All right. Yeah, I think that's all we're going to do today. Short stream, I know, but I started super late. But we did everything we wanted. Let's go to the roadmap here. Cursor block outline, tile selection overlay, and unified auto tiling API. These have all been under review for the last like week here. And I think we just finished them all. So let's grab them and let's get them over to the completed side. Bam. That feels good. It feels good. So we can pick something new tomorrow. Not tomorrow, next week. We should be working on this, the stuff that we need for serialization, but I think the thing that we're actually going to do is probably this raycast cursor input. I'm really interested in this, and I think this is going to very much change the way we interact with the game. So I think this is what we're going to look at doing, like faking a raycast input. So instead of like manually setting what Z level you're on, having it be kind of implied, basically treating the mouse cursor as if it's a raycast coming from the camera. I think that'd be really cool, and I want to do that. So that's probably the next thing we're going to do. I'm still kind of stuck on the 90-degree camera rotations. I just have to do some hard matrix math. And I haven't done it. I haven't worked on it, so we're just going to leave that in there. And work on this next, I think. Yeah, this has been fun. Two-hour-long streams are short streams, Nick. They're considered very short. I think it's considered like the minimum of like a viable stream. I think you would be normally encouraged to do like 3 to 4. We're almost halfway done with the comm on board. True. This is really all that needs to be done before we can move on. The rest of this stuff is like nice stuff to have. I kind of want this, so I'm prioritizing it, but the rest of this stuff I think we're going to not do. Oh, except this auto tile invalid blocks. So we need these two. Or we want these two. We need these 3 for sure. Because this is how the serialization and the undo redo stuff works. So I really need these. These are I would consider must-haves. These would be nice to have, and then the rest of this stuff we can just do later. So I think we're actually pretty good and pretty close to moving on from the tile block editor to the shipboard simulation. I think we'll be there in I think we'll be there relatively soon. I don't want to put a date on it, but it will be a really major transition. Because these are the only things that I feel like we need to do before we put an initial build out for the public. But yeah, shipboard simulation is going to be huge. That's like power generation, pathfinding, task scheduling, all sorts of stuff is going to be involved in this. This is going to be very, very, very significant. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Yeah. Oh well. This has been really great. Our pre-rolls are up, so I should probably wrap it up here before an ad shows up. Yeah. Yeah, everyone take it easy. Take care. Don't work too hard. It's the weekend. I'm really looking forward to a lazy Sunday tomorrow. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching. Hope you have a great rest of your weekend. And I'll see you next time. Bye.